Okay, I call this regular council meeting for January 24th, 2017 to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Kavode. Dries.
Here.
Halter.
Here.
Hermes. Here. Lee.
Here.
Walther. Here. Moore.
Here. And Mr. Kavote has an excused absence. Okay, we'll have a prayer by Mr. Dries.
Lord, we ask your blessing on our community. We ask that you be with our citizens. We're grateful for those that serve the public, whether they be in law enforcement or our fire department or EMS. We're grateful for our government officials. I pray for those of us that make decisions on behalf of the citizens, that you give us wisdom and that you grant us forgiveness when we overlook things. And I pray that you would bless this community in every way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Time for approval of minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting of December 27th, 2016. The council organizational meeting of January 10th, 2017. The council meeting work session of January 10th, 2017. And the clerk has given me a couple items that corrections have already been made on the motion to appoint Fred Merle to the Zoning Board of Appeals. There's been a correction there, changed from reappointment to appointment, and that was on the January 10th meeting. And court was corrected to say course as it related to Malloy's Golf Course Restaurant. Anybody have any other corrections or changes? Hearing none, the minutes approved for those meetings. All right, this time we have an oath of office for a new police officer, Michael T. Willis. How do you want to?
Mom's over there,
So repeat after me. I don't want to block you. I, Michael T. Willis, do solemnly swear
I, Michael T. Willis, do solemnly swear.
I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills,
the Charter of Ordinances in the Village of Greenhills,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of officer of police. Let's change that. Discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Two signatures from both of you gentlemen. Michael, you're right there. You're right there.
Is it almost out of
Yes.
Yes.
Michael, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell council and the people that are here in the audience just a little bit about your background and how you ended up here?
First off, I want to thank my mom, my dad, and Dan for all the love and support that they gave me throughout this entire journey. It's been a very long road for me to get to this point right here, especially through college and police academy and the military police academy, which I just got back in December, a week before Christmas. So it's been a very long time in the process of going through the job and looking for a job. I'm very grateful for Chief Earlman and the council to give me the opportunity to hire me here for Greenhills and to help make the community here safer and better for the people that live here. That's just a little bit about me. I live up in Oxford. I was a graduate from Miami University with a bachelor's in criminal justice. I'm a lieutenant in the United States Army Reserves as a MP officer. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I enlisted in 2011 in the National Guard as a combat engineer. And then when I went through college, I decided to pursue as an officer in the Army in that career path. That's just a little bit of my background.
So as he just did that without warning, I think our manager will agree he'll do well at our park talks.
Yeah.
My congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Again. Thank you.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Red Hawk love. Special handshake?
Oh, yeah, that's a special Miami handshake.
Okay, moving on. Residents to address council. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone?
Is there a coin flip to see who's going first?
We know. I'm Chris Rousseau. I'm here to represent the Greenhills Historical Society. I live on Flanders Lane, and I've written this out because I'm so enthusiastic. I could go on and on, so this will limit me. Greenhills is now a National Historic Landmark. The definition of on the National Parks website says National Historic Landmarks are nationally significant historical places designated by the Secretary of the Interior because they possess exceptional value or quality in illustrating and interpreting the heritage of the United States. Currently, there are 85,000 listings on the National Register of Historic Places. Today, there are only 2,500 historic places bearing the distinction of National Historic Landmark. Announced formally on January 11th, 2017 by the head of the National Parks and the National Historic Landmark Program, Greenhills is now listed as a landmark for America. It is a huge honor as we join such famous places on that list as the Empire State Building, the Biltmore Estate, the White House, and the San Francisco cable cars, among many others. This is an amazing and exciting time for all the people who know and love Greenhills and for those who live here. It began over 10 years ago with an application by the Greenhills Historical Society and involved many people and miles of paperwork. The process was finished by Beth Sullenberger, hired by the village to complete the final phase of the process. Congratulations and thanks are due to all the people who worked so hard on this great accomplishment. This honor has put us on the national map. We will be listed with details on the National Parks website. We are already included in listings on in travel guides and vacation suggestions as a place to visit. We will become a vacation destination, and we need to be ready. I'm meeting with Marymount and Glendale's historical societies, the only other National Historic Landmark communities in this area, with the goal of a brochure to link our 3 towns with suggestions and visitor information. These brochures will be available in visitor centers across the state. This is a very unique opportunity for all of us, the town and the Historical Society, to bring positive media and public attention to our village. The Greenhills Historical Society would like to work with the village and plan a public event to bring in the community and our elected officials, including our senators and congressmen, to recognize our unique place and its charm. I've spoken with several people who have expressed their enthusiasm towards this goal. It's a unique occasion, and I'm sure the media will give it coverage given the opportunity. I'm hoping we can all respond and work together to promote Greenhills, a new National Historic Landmark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Weichert. I'm the branch manager of the recently reopened Greenhills Library in our brand new location at 8 Enfield in the community building. We're in the old middle school library now. And I just wanted to give everyone an update that we are back, we are better than ever, and maybe give you a quick highlights of what some of our new resources are. We're still open our same hours. That's Mondays and Tuesdays, noon until 8, Wednesdays and Thursdays, noon until 6, and Fridays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are still closed on Sundays. But we went from just under 1,700 square feet at the rental facility in the shopping center to over 2,300 square feet in our new location. We are renting from the Winton Woods Public School District, and we're in there with all of their administrative offices and everything. We have 8 computers now. If anybody remembers from the other one, we had 3 that were scattered throughout the facility. We are enjoying our elbow room because we have much wider aisles. Also in this facility, we are ADA accessible because the back door where the parking lot is has parking and a ramp. It's the first time that we've been able to be ADA accessible in a very long time. Our bathrooms are also in a situation where they can be ADA accessible as well. So we're very excited at those opportunities that will be coming. We also have 3 entrances that you can come into. The parking is at the rear of the building, but you can come in through entrance 10, and that's where our book drop is. It's the big red box out there, and it's open 24 hours a day. Anybody can put anything in there that they want if they're not going to be stopping in to see us and just want to drop it off. If you're going to come in and see us, if you hand it to us, it'll get checked in a little bit faster, but they will all get checked in eventually. The side door that's closest to Farragut Avenue, entrance 11, is also one that's open when we're open, and then entrance 12, which is the front side of the hallway that we open off of. We are locked off from the rest of the building. Security doors were installed to keep the students secure and the rest of the building secure, and we have access to our space during those open hours. And then, of course, the school still maintains access for the rest of the time for their customers. We have all kinds of different things. We continue to have our Edge and Awe stations, which are educational game computers for children. We have 2 internet computers dedicated to them. We have a large expanded children's area. We also have a large teen area. We had some bookcases that we devoted to that age group before, but now we have a complete section which has some cool beanbag chairs to hang out in and really a place for them to hang out. We have 2 study rooms, which is something we have never had the luxury of having before. They are about 6 by 6 rooms, and they're appropriate for 1 to 3 people. So if you need to meet with somebody, have a tutoring session, anything like that, they're available, and you can sign up online for their use. We also are kicking off all of our new programs. Well, we're continuing what we had right up until we closed in August. We're adding a new family story time, which is on the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. So that's a new exciting one. We're continuing our 2 book clubs, the mystery one, which meets on the 3rd Monday, and our literary latte, which is on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. We also have different programs for all ages. Coming up in February, we've got Maasai drumming for families for African American History Month, and we've also got African American art from the Cincinnati Art Museum. Docent is going to come out and talk to us about that. I do write an article usually in the Greenhills Journal, so we have all kinds of fun new things, and I just wanted to touch on a few of them and say we're back, we're better, come and see us at any time.
Thank you very
Good.
much. Thank you very much.
And if you haven't been there yet, get there.
Yeah, just got a couple of comments to make. On the 11th, you said you were going to do a program especially for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I shall be there a little bit week earlier, so and drop off some things for you to work with.
We appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
welcome back.
We're so glad to be
We
back
really
in the
appreciate
community
you
where we
here.
belong.
Yes.
We waited, but come and see it. It's worth the wait.
Okay, thank you.
It's beautiful.
And I also wanted to make a comment to Mrs. Russo. Any help that you need for whatever is going to be worked out to celebrate this magnificent occasion, please let us know. And we would like, I'm sure that there will be, doesn't matter how small or how large, as long as we can cooperate in some way or fashion, we would like to be there for the moment, which is a very auspicious moment. So thank you very much for coming forth today and doing the presentation.
And Chris, you had mentioned about the number of hits that you received on your Facebook page as a result of that announcement. Could you touch?
On one day, we usually run around 400 or 500 on an interesting picture. We had 24,000 hits on one day.
That's
Wow.
The day after it was
Did you ever
announced.
check
Yeah,
ours?
it was, wow, it really
thanks.
was.
Thank you.
86. Not bad. Okay, moving on, the reports of village officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. And I too want to start with our NHL designation because that is certainly our big news. Obtaining this was a multi-year task, predated me, and I believe it was in the village's 2009 comprehensive plan as well. Certainly thanks to Beth Solberger who put it together as our historic consultant. And she worked closely with Linda McClellan, who is with the National Park Service, an architectural historian who was just a wealth of information. And her presentation in May was just awesome about our community. And many of you who pulled files and wrote letters, and thanks to all of everyone. I have been working with the National Park Service. As part of our NHL designation, we will be receiving a bronze plaque. I'm still waiting on the timing from the individual to let me know when that would come. But it will certainly be a great opportunity to do a dedication ceremony. So I imagine that's going to probably occur in the spring. So we'll stay in touch on that. And I also have been in contact with Patrick Karen to set up a time to meet and just talk through how we can carry this forward, forever as part of our the NHL designation. So questions I'm already getting from property owners is, what does this mean to us? So right now they would be eligible, to be considered for federal grants for historic preservation and or tax credits if they choose to rehab their either commercial or residential structures. There are 10 standards that they would have to follow to qualify for that, but that's now available to them. The ability to maintain the designation over time could be enhanced by the establishment of a local district that would carry design guidelines for alterations in new construction. At this time, however, nothing really changes right now at the local level until there would be such a designation. Any federally funded projects, such as our community development block grant, the housing improvement repair program we've been doing, there's what's called a Section 106 review for historic compliance. So that has been in effect and will continue, same as before. So, I see it as a huge marketing tool for Greenhills, and obviously you've shed some great light on that, just what that could mean to us. We already added the title to our webpage. In case you haven't seen that yet, got it on our stationery. Thank you very much. The mayor and I are pursuing signage for that would direct visitors from the area, from like the interstates and from Ronald Reagan Highway. And again, as I mentioned before, I hope to meet with the president relatively soon, perhaps this week, to again see how we can carry this forward for our community. So, a few other things. I want to mention the event calendar that was probably in your packet, but that will be shared with the Journal. We're also hoping that residents, when they see it in the Journal, will clip it, keep it. So, hoping to get good attendance at our upcoming functions by getting word out on those events early. Just a reminder, this year we have another general operating levy that will be up for renewal in November. This one's actually larger, a large one, 3.89 mils, generates about $188,000 for our general fund. So keep that in mind. I wanted to let you know the Safe Routes to School program. I've mentioned a couple times that's continuing. That's a joint venture that we have with the school district and Forest Park. We're preparing a travel plan. Now that we know a new school is going to be built here, as well as in Forest Park for their piece, we're able to tailor recommendations towards any safety in getting. I understand we'll have about 2,000 children at that school in and out of this building safely. So that it's moving forward. We anticipate having a plan that would be available for public comment probably in mid to late May. So I will keep you updated on that as it moves forward. Quick update on the NatureWorks grant. I had hoped to have a timeline, but we actually need to do our surveying work first before we'll know just how much grading or site prep there's going to have to be for the project itself. Unfortunately, it does look like it would, timing-wise, it would fall in the summer, which I know is not ideal. But we are going to look at building a temporary access to the shelter. So on the other hand, I don't want to delay construction because you fall into the fall and then the contractors are just doing it on the tail end, and we don't want that either. So we'll just have to see how we move forward with that. There's options on the facility that can shorten the time frame a little bit, but I just don't have that information for you yet. But you will be starting to see some surveying work going on up there. The rainwater project, you might remember there was some signage that was part of that. We have just recently received that signage. It'll probably be spring before we get it up in place, but there'll be 3 different locations, and these are like informational kinds of those neat kind of panel things that have a map and point out so people can look at it and then look in the distance and see what's happening and why it's happening, that kind of a thing. So we have finally received those. Again, that'll be in the spring when those go up. Our electric aggregation and follow-up to the January 10th meeting when we passed the resolution for IGS, that is all moving forward. Our residents will start receiving their opt-out letters next week on the 30th, and it's pretty in-depth. I've seen the letters, the explanation of what needs to be done, but certainly if anybody has any questions, they can give us a call. Then finally, we finished the draft on the Gulf contract just yesterday, sent that to Joel Suggs to sign, and as soon as that occurs, I will bring it to council for approval. And then, any items of legislation I can answer that as we go through it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions on the 10 standards to meet in order to be able to receive federal aid and so forth. Where are those 10 standards listed? How can a citizen find those out? Are they listed in the website? How do we get them?
I'm pretty sure I have them on our website. They can
Okay.
probably also get them, I would imagine, through the National Park Service website.
Okay. And then this was absolutely wonderful. Is there any way that we can have extra ones in case that somebody would like to pick one up? Let's just say, in the office here,
Yes.
or, rather, I forgot to cut it out of the paper and anything like that. If we can have some extra ones like in the front there you have several forms and things to help
Right.
yourself with, that would be absolutely wonderful. We can have some.
We can do that.
Okay,
No
thank
problem.
you.
All right, moving on, Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. We can probably discuss this more as the legislation goes through, but I did want to report tonight. You do have something on your agenda tonight for a moratorium related to medical marijuana. I did just want to let you know that there is a website that I think I mentioned before, and if you look at that, what you'll see now is that they have released at least draft rules for the cultivators, which are the people that will grow it, as well as the dispensaries, which are the places that can sell it. Those are, again, just the initial draft of the rules that have been released. They are open for public comment until, I think, maybe the end of this week or so. But once they're done with the public comment period, then they'll go back and revise the rules. So I'm only telling you this because they have actually at least taken one little, baby step toward the many rules and regulations that will have to be in place. All will have to be in place by September of 2018. And as you'll see, that's the date that you'll see in your moratorium legislation.
That's on the state website? Or?
It's, the website is, I know if you Google Ohio Medical Marijuana Commission, it may be Medical Marijuana Commission.ohio.gov or something to that. But yes, you can, it's easy to find. And on that page, at the top, there's a link to a timeline, which will walk you through when they have to have all the rules in place, as well as a link to the draft rules of what they're proposing.
Okay.
And that's where you can also sign up to get email alerts whenever anything new happens on that topic.
Okay. Thanks.
Other than that would conclude my report.
Okay.
I do have a question, and you don't have to answer it right now. This is it's going to take a while to formulate this, okay? I'm referring to resolution that we passed, 2015-44-LNR. It took me a long time to find it, but I found it. And it was voted on November the 24th of 2015. And my question is as follows, because I asked this before, and I keep remembering this, and it kept bothering me, the fact that I could not produce immediately what kind of resolution it was, but I did find it. And I'm looking specifically at the Part B, that it says that it is the policy of the Village of Green Hills, events proposed to be sponsored by the Village of Green Hills be presented to the municipal manager with sufficient lead time for the review, preparation, recommendation to the village council. Such activities must be approved by motion of village council, and the planning of the event must be coordinated by the member of the village staff. Now, we did have a vote for the Harvest Fest of 2016, but as I remember, that was the only one that was taken to a vote to the council. And I asked a couple of times the question, we did not vote for other events that were involved in the village. And I'm looking here at the list in here. We had the Light Up of Green Hills, we have the Harvest Fest, we have the Halloween, we have the egg hunt, etc. My question is as follows. I want to make sure that I don't get caught up here in some kind of technicality, since we are moving forward to some of these things under the Recreation Committee and Commission both. If we do have to have a vote of council for such a thing, one, do we have to have it to make sure that we go forth? Because according to this resolution, we must. Two, if we must have it, is there a way to have, since we now have a calendar that shows the first event happening on April the 16th, could we have a motion that would include all of those things that are sponsored by the village, have a vote on it as a lump, and that way it would be all copacetic with the resolution? And if we are not following that, only for some or other, I would like to know what is the criteria that there would be a vote for ones and not for the others. And if we are not following this through on all of them, because we have we made a motion, we voted on it, then why do we have it? So if you can, I told you this was going to be involved, and I'll repeat the number again. It's resolution number 2015-44-LNR.
Why would that be part of the law directors?
Well, because I don't know if we need to have it, a vote or not. I was told that we didn't. I did it on 2016. I was told that I don't need it for 2017. There are other things that we have done here that had not gone through that process. So I just want to be sure if my group, my committee, are we doing the right thing or not? And if others need to do it, should we have a blanket motion at the beginning of the year that says we have the following things scheduled for such dates, and have the vote of council on that? I just, I don't want something that is, I want the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Okay, I'll pull that and I'll look at it, and I'll work with Ms. Kovac.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on. Clerk of Council, Catherine Lies.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The 2017 council meeting schedule, the January 2017 community calendar, and resolution numbers 2016 32F, 33F, 34F, 35F were posted as required. Additionally, resolution numbers 2017 01F, 02F, and 03F, along with the 2017 Recreation Commission meeting schedule were also posted as required. And if there are no questions, that would conclude my report.
Okay. All right. Chief of Police, Neil Furtum.
Thanks, Mayor. I suppose the biggest news for us within the last 30 days was our assessment team was here, and just this past week we received their report. In the opening line of the summary, it said that the assessment team found at the end of the on-site the agency was in full compliance with all applicable Tier 1 standards and is compliance with agency practices, meeting the intent of CALEA standards. That means their recommendation to the full commission will be that we receive our reaccreditation. They mentioned also in their findings that that they felt that we had truly integrated the principles of accreditation and practiced community policing here in Greenhills, and that I think is a testament to the staff that we have, because that's what we've tried to do during this recent accreditation period, is be as close to our community as we possibly can and be as responsive to them. So I can tell you that we will continue that course of action for the future, and the next step for our CALEA process will be in March, when we have to go to Mobile, Alabama. The accreditation manager and I will travel there. We will appear before the full commission, answer their questions, and hopefully receive accreditation from the commission. The other initiative that is a statewide initiative that was started within the last 2 years is the statewide collaborative. It's interesting to note that there's 831 police agencies in Ohio. So far, 250 are involved in this effort. We're one of those 250. And it's really a very small version of the CALEA standards. To give you a comparison, CALEA has hundreds and hundreds of standards. Right now, the state has adopted 2. They're adopting 2 more this year, and they'll adopt 2 more next year. So it's a microcosm of that. The benefit is that it covers the same subject areas that CALEA already covers, so we're very well prepared. Lieutenant Ward has been handling that for me, and we will be scheduling our state review for that. We hope to have that in place by March as well. In terms of criminal and traffic activity, we investigated 9 accidents last month. That's up from 7 in December of 2015. 6 crimes, and that's down from 13 last December. 208 other incidents. Of a total of 732 contacts we had with our citizens, 259 of those were dispatched as compared to 261 last December, and 473 were self-initiated by our officers as compared to 266 last December. We provided assistance to the public 186 times. We assisted other agencies 38 times, and during the month of December we made 26 criminal arrests and 74 traffic arrests. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All right. And I have no court receipts to report, so at the next regular council meeting, I will report the court receipts when I get those. And I have nothing else. So we go to committee reports, intergovernmental affairs, laws and rules. Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The committee met on Tuesday, January 17th, to discuss a rather extensive agenda. First and foremost was a follow-up on an old business item that came back to us, and I put a summary recommendation from the committee at each of your places tonight, just to kind of give you a thumbnail highlight that the immediate concern of addressing this issue, much more than discussing it, was that any such legislation would be in violation of Ohio Revised Code 713-002 relative to any planning or zoning action against a public utility. This particular issue had been has been rehashed several times in front of the Ohio Supreme Court, and the court has held fast on the issue. The whole concern also runs afoul of a variety of different state and federal entities that would take a contrary position to one that we could. So because of these facts, the committee did not recommend any council action to set baselines of an unknown value through recommending an independent research project, and further not making any specific recommendations to the school district on the new construction, other than that they would be following Ohio building codes as well as the guidelines by the Ohio School Facilities Commission, which I'm sure they will. In addition to that recommendation, we reviewed a number of legislation that will be coming up here shortly concerning medical marijuana moratorium, code amendment on motorized vehicles, a rental inspection program amendments, a proposed amendment regarding the tethering of dogs, proposed amendments regarding peddlers to review, as well as Greenbelt purchase requests. So it was a rather extensive meeting, and we got through it, and you'll see some of the result of that tonight. Unless there are any questions, that's...
Just have a couple of questions. Do we have that in place right now to have any, the owner of residential property to have a permit to rent? We don't have that right now. This is what we're working on, correct?
Right.
Do we have a fee for that, to have that kind of permit? Is there a fee attached to it?
A permit?
Yeah, in order to have
Are you talking about the rental inspection?
Yes,
program?
correct.
Yeah, sure,
You give a
right,
permit.
yes.
is
there's
there
a-
going to be a fee involved? on
There
that?
is.
Already
There
is,
There
okay.
is, yes.
Yeah,
All right.
and it was on the fee schedule. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I misunderstood what you
All
said.
righty, okay.
All right. Service and Streets Committee, Mr. Cavo's not with us, but
Oh,
do you,
yeah. Okay. It's a good thing I brought that folder tonight. The updates, we discussed the updates on the catch basin repairs. First wave repairs have been done. The east side has been done. And the repairs on the west side are slated for 2017. Road repairs, the contractor will be working on this as time permits. The funding for Winton Road Phase 3 was declined by the state. We'll need to reapply for next year. See, streetlight works, lights have been repaired. The update at the rear of the shopping center is complete. We also discussed traffic light delays at the crosswalks at Winton, and we're looking at that. We reviewed the results of the mowing bids, and we discussed garbage and recycling can placement issues. And that discussion will be ongoing. And that was the extent of the meeting. That occurred January 17th as well.
comments or questions?
Just a couple questions, or one comment, one question. When are the lights scheduled to go in front of the shopping center? When's the actual?
I don't have a specific schedule on that at this point in time, only because we're looking into some options for the
The wi-
utility wires
Yeah,
themselves.
the wiring is a bit of an issue there, not wanting to go overhead, or there's also, and not wanting to do a long run and straight down the front of the shopping center, which involves a lot more construction. So they're looking at possibly doing some shorter runs from the front of the shopping center. So they're just trying to find the best way possible on that.
Yeah, and I took a look at the LED lights behind the shopping center, nice and bright, and cost savings involved there. One of the recommendations I had, I saw it up in Madison, and you can see if you go at Forest Park Post Office, when the sidewalk buckles up, they've ground off the edge, and I thought that might be a less expensive route for us to look at for residents instead of replacing every slab, so just a suggestion.
That was brought up as well.
Good, thanks.
Okay. Community Development, Jeff Halter.
Yes, just as a reminder, our meetings scheduled for this year are March 14th, June 13th, and September 12th at 5:15 p.m. Community Development is looking forward to working with Yvonne and the Historical Society and others to maximize the NHL designation. And it's a great opportunity for us to maybe do a new set of street banners that call attention to our new designation. And I just didn't know is there a display case or something at the library where maybe we could have some information about NHL?
We certainly have a pamphlet stand,
Okay.
and we are already in talks with the Historical
Okay.
Society of what we can help. If they give us like some PDFs and stuff, we might be able to electronically share that with anyone.
Great. Because I know there's a lot of resources over there that have been sitting there, and now we have a really, really good reason to display those. I don't know if we can work with Marty or something, and I just don't know what the opportunities are, but from a community development standpoint, this is something, whether it's bumper stickers or just media release, whenever we can, keep after it. When you have that many hits on Facebook page and that kind of interest, other things we might want to look at brochures to recommend hotel places to stay and to eat and go from there. But we look at that as a great opportunity. And that's what I have for community development.
Okay. Comments or questions?
I just have a comment. If and when we decide to have some celebration about it, like I said, I would like that to go county-wise. Hamilton County Commissioners, our representatives, there are times when they are here, not necessarily in Washington, and if we can time something in that vein, I'm sure that we can request and they will comply gladly to do that.
And that magnifies the impact.
The impact and importance of it on our end to advertise that they will be present and so forth. I also was thinking of, in the sense of also not just one mega event, but throughout the year to have other smaller degree kind of events that will continue that theme, and not that something will happen on a particular date and then it's gone.
Sure.
So something to keep reminding people all throughout the year that we have received that nomination, and to be able to continue the propaganda per se of that, to let everybody know and continue to know that.
I agree.
If I could make a comment, I do want to comment on the dedication ceremony, because the National Park Service has indicated that it will be bigger than us. There are
Yeah.
a lot of individuals they have on their list that would be invited, and they in fact intend to send a representative as well for that dedication, so it should be pretty exciting.
And do you have a date for that yet?
No,
Okay.
at this point, they're going to let me know when the plaque will be ready to be
Okay.
shipped, so.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on, Safety Committee, Melanie Hermes.
We canceled our meeting today because we had nothing on the agenda. Our next meeting will be March 28th at 5:15. and we plan to continue to have them every other month on the day of a council meeting at 5:15. Oh, and congratulations to Chief Rodelman on the letter from Kalia, so that's exciting news, and look forward to working with the new hire as well.
Chief, do you have a date for the CALEA meeting in Alabama?
Yes, I did.
Of course.
March.
I think off the top of my head it's March 21st, or let me double check. March 25th. We actually travel there on the 21st. The hearing will be on the 25th. And they are changing to a new, instead of all paper files, it's all going to be computerized, so we'll be trained at the same time, the conference, on how to deal with the new computerization.
Okay. Finance and audit, Mr. Dries.
I have two items. I don't know if this is because I chair finance and I'm on safety or some other reason that I'm unaware of, but I chair the Firemen's Dependency Fund Committee, and we met this evening, and we will file the appropriate paperwork so that in the unfortunate event that we need to access that dependency fund, we'll be in compliance. So after the meeting, I've got some paperwork to give to you. The other item is I'm going to give a unaudited snapshot of where we ended the year. The fiscal officer is still working on closing the books, but we're pretty close. Our income tax collection was up 8.23% over prior year. So that's an additional $89,000 that we collected. The real estate tax was up 3.52%, or $12,520. And for the year, the general fund was up 10.5%, or $192,752. And that's primarily driven by the income tax that I previously mentioned and trash collection, which was $118,000. On the expense side, the staff did a great job of spending less than what we appropriated. They spent 92.48% of what was appropriated, so every time we gave them a dollar, they only spent 92.5 cents of that dollar. Our general fund and police expenses were $117,000 higher than the prior year. In 2015, we did not spend very much for capital expenditures. And in 2016, we bought a bucket truck for $28,000. We bought the lights surrounding the shopping center for $36,000, and we bought a police car for $33,000, and then the outfitting for that will be charged in 2017. So if you add those pieces up, those are the biggest reasons why our expenses were higher. A little bit higher on our compensation expenses. Our people work hard, and we want them to be properly compensated. So there is some raise money in there also. So at the end of the year, you always want to know what's in the checkbook, and our fund balance declined $101,000. So our end of the year fund balance is $1.103 million, and if you recall, our fund balance will decline for the next few years as we continue to pay down non-voted debt. And then at some point in the future, I think it's 2019 or 2020, it'll start to increase again. And our finance director does just a fantastic job in helping us with a 5-year projection. We want to have a minimum of 3 months of expenses. So if we didn't collect any revenue from any source, we would have at least 3 months worth of expenses. And we do this multi-year budgeting and forecasts so that we can make sure that we stay within that self-imposed boundary. So we'll have more details once the year closes, and I'm going to take on the endeavor of trying to write an article for the Greenhills Journal about finances so that we can give people a little bit deeper dive into it. It won't be, if you're an accountant, you're going to be very disappointed, but if you're a citizen and want to feel for what's going on with our expenses and our income and where it comes from, hopefully it'll be informational. So that concludes my report for tonight.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Recreation, Cable TV, Maria Walther.
I have a couple of notes here. First of all, we met on January the 5th, both the committee and the commission. The next meeting will occur on April the 6th. At 6:30 will be the committee meeting, and at 7 will be the commission meeting. On the meeting, we established some of the dates that we wanted to put together, and Ms. Kovac did a wonderful job to adding all of them because I wanted all of them for the whole year in one list. We discussed for the community days and so forth, and parade, Pioneer Parade, and all of what was going in as an integral part of the recreation / having to do with the village. So this worked out very, very nicely. Some of the things that I have done and a couple of things that I want to recommend. I did take part of the Historical Society meeting yesterday, and that's why I invited Mrs. Russell to come here and do a little presentation for us today. And also, I want to let you know of 2 things that it seems down our alley, and if someone would like more information, please see me and I can give you phone numbers or emails to pursue this. On January the 30th, 2017 at 6 p.m., there's going to be a general membership meeting for the Hamilton County Municipal League, and that's the first meeting of the year. And that's something that we are part of, and if someone would like to go, I would love to go with someone, but if not, I'll go by myself. But I would like to, if someone would like a ride, I would be happy to provide that. On a personal note, it's kind of hard for me to do some of those things by myself. So someone can, that would be great. The next one is January the 31st. It's at 6 p.m. and this is really quite interesting. If you're interested in housing options in your community, from M to S, millennials to seniors. If so, please join the First Suburbs Consortium of Southwest Ohio for our membership meeting at the Evendale Recreation Center. And it will be an informative and inclusive conversation about first suburb housing needs. We are pleased to present 3 speakers on the topic of housing problems and solutions for those communities. Whether your concern is how to maintain aging housing and an aging population and how to attract millennials or something in between, these programs is something for you. So I thought that this was an interesting wow kind of thing that caught my eye. And again, I have phone numbers and emails for that. If I'm planning on attending that, if someone would like to catch a ride, that would be great. If give me a call or wait for me afterwards, and I'll give you the information there. I also was privileged enough to be invited to the word that will escape the importance of it, but the dressing of a judge of the Court of Appeals, Marilyn Zayas, Hispanic elected judge, and that was a privilege to attend to that particular event. So I was very pleased with the outcome, and it was a cross-section of everybody from Hamilton County was there. There were commissioners, they were from Springfield Township, they were from everywhere. So we all came as one to support her, and I just wanted to let you know that as well.
Comments or questions?
So Maria, it might be a good idea to contact Alois since we have a date for Harvest Fest. We missed this last time, obviously syncing up with their Run for Good.
Well, I have already had also a separate meeting with our village manager, Ms. Kovac, and we discussed that as well. And we are meeting monthly, Ms. Kovac and I, and sometimes when the chair of the Recreation Commission is available, Doug Kohler, as to iron out the details. And as you can see, we already had a first meeting in January. I have to have things in order, precise, and like I said, my I's dotted and my T's crossed. So we had a really strong start already this month, and we have discussed all of that as well. And Ms. Kovac is in contact. And we are thinking that maybe not, whatever all the arrangements that can be made, they may run in the morning separate from and apart from the Harvest Fest, but she has already gave some opinions and searches on that.
And opinions are fine. I just know that they get on the running calendar very, very early, and it just, I think they wanted to be synchronized with us last year. So, yeah, if you could reach out to them, that'd be great.
Okay. New business. We have a bunch of ordinances. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, ordinance number 2017-01-LNR. This will be for a first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2017-001-LNR, ordinance amending the section 1335 of the Greenhills Code of Ordinances regarding rental dwellings and units. This is the first reading. Pardon?
Yeah, he doesn't have to read it in detail for the first
It's
reading.
just title only.
Okay. Go ahead.
And just for your edification, the most of the changes occur on page 3. They're noted there or scratched out, and the primary reason for this is as a result of legal opinions, the Supreme Court.
It was a court, was it a state case?
It's a federal
Portsmouth?
district court case.
Okay.
From the city of Portsmouth, Ohio. Had an ordinance very similar to yours.
Okay.
And these are just some minor, really, if you look at it, it really doesn't change much about how you actually do the program, but it does make some clarifications to comply with that decision.
So it's a housekeeping issue, but first reading.
Okay. All right, we have another one, ordinance 2017-02-LNR, also for a first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2017-02-LNR, an ordinance to amend section 159.02 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Green Hills regarding the membership to the Recreation Committee. First reading.
And is this something you discussed with?
Actually, it was discussed in recreation.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
And it will be open for discussion on this after the second reading, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But because I was doing so many ordinances tonight, they allowed me to introduce it, I guess. I was on a roll.
Okay, the next one, ordinance number 2017-03-LNR, another first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2017-03 LNR, amending various sections of the Green Hills Codified Ordinance regarding where a motorized vehicle can be driven. This is the first reading.
Okay.
Just as a point of reference, this was through a discussion with the chief, and this is in relation to motorized vehicles and where they can be operated and by whom, so
Okay.
for your application.
All right, another ordinance, 2017-04-LNR, another first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2017-04 LNR, ordinance amending the section 737.03, registration of the Greenhills Code of Ordinance peddlers and solicitors. First reading.
Okay. All right. Now we have resolution number 2017-04. Wait, should that be 05 instead of 04?
Yeah, it's a resolution.
No,
The other one was.
that's our
or-
first. Different numbers, okay.
Right.
All
There's
right.
a separate number for
Yeah.
ordinances and
Yeah,
separate
okay.
resolutions.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2017 R04-LNR, imposing a moratorium for a period until September 30th, 2018 on the granting of any permit allowing retail dispensaries, cultivators, or processors of medical marijuana within the Village of Greenhills, Ohio. Whereas the Village of Greenhills, Ohio desires to coordinate regulations regarding the location and operation of businesses within the village, including retail dispensaries, cultivators, or processors of medical marijuana. And whereas, for the purposes of this resolution, retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors have the same meaning as defined in a newly enacted Chapter 3796 of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas the state of Ohio recently enacted laws concerning medical marijuana, and whereas House Bill 523 became effective on September 6, 2016, and whereas Ohio Revised Code Section 3796.92 allows municipalities to prohibit and/or limit the location of retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors of medical marijuana within corporate limits. And whereas it is recommended that the village manager review and make recommendations on the issue to conform to the village's goal of providing adequate regulations to ensure the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. And whereas a moratorium on granting of permits within the Village of Greenhills will allow the village time to accomplish these goals. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the Greenhills Village Council seeks a moratorium on permits for the establishment of retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors of medical marijuana to preserve the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Greenhills, Ohio. Section 2, that the Greenhills Village Council seeks to limit the duration of the moratorium and request immediate investigation and review of proposed comprehensive regulations on the establishment of retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors of medical marijuana within the period of the moratorium. Section 3, that the Greenhills Village Council hereby imposes a moratorium on permits for the establishment of retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors of medical marijuana for the period of time until September 30th, 2018, or until such earlier time that said moratorium shall be terminated, and directs that no permits shall be issued for these facilities during the period of the moratorium. Section 4, that the Greenhills Village Council further finds that a moratorium for a period of time until September 30th, 2018 is reasonable and will allow a study for comprehensive regulations, given that the state of Ohio is required to have the medical marijuana program fully implemented by September 6, 2018. Section 5, that this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move for adoption of the resolution.
Second?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right. Hearing none?
I have a couple of questions for somebody to answer. I just, is this similar or to any of our neighboring villages or cities and so forth? And my second question was, if we have to have a program fully implemented by September the 6th of 2018, we have this moratorium until September the 30th. Is there a problem with that? Because it says that we need to have one in place by September the 6th, but we have a moratorium saying that it's in place, the moratorium until September the 30th of the same year. Yeah,
I can address that.
Put,
okay.
That September 6th date is when the state of Ohio has to have its program in place. So you, and there's nothing magic about September 30th.
Okay.
I drafted it that way because I was requested to draft a moratorium that got you through the entire period. So what I said was, if the state has to have their program in place by roughly the beginning of September, your moratorium can run to the end of that month so that you have time to
Okay.
analyze what that state program is, although we will likely know what that state program is long before that implementation date. To your first question, I can tell you that this moratorium is, it is common. I know Springdale has already done one, Sharonville has already done one. You can chime in. Loveland has already, well, actually, I'm sorry, Loveland did not do a moratorium. They skipped that step and they just banned it completely from the beginning. So a number of communities have done a moratorium.
And those that have done it is for the same amount of time, pretty much, or that varies?
No, the time has varied. I've seen some of, I can only tell you what some of my clients have done, and they've typically done about a 6-month moratorium. Although, if you implemented a moratorium right after this law changed, then that 6 months is, you're approaching the end of that, and what many of those communities will do is extend it for another 6 months.
Okay.
You've just taken the step to say, we're not going to bother doing 6 months and then 6 months and 6 months.
Okay.
You'll just take the entire period at once, and if it becomes operational before that, that's why the one section says you always have the ability to terminate your
Okay.
moratorium earlier.
That answers my
Okay.
questions.
All right. Clerk, call the roll.
Dries,
Aye.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 2017-04-LMR passes. Next, a resolution 2017-05-SNS. And Mr. Lee will do that for Mr. Cavode.
I'll get even with him someday. Resolution 2017-R05 SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with Sure Shot Landscaping. Whereas the Village of Greenhills utilizes a contractor for grass mowing services, and whereas Sure Shot Landscaping submitted the lowest and best bid following a competitive bid process and is qualified to provide such services, and now therefore it be resolved by the Council of Village of Greenhills, Ohio. Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement according to the terms and conditions outlawed in the bidding documents with Sure Shot Landscaping for grass mowing services. Section 2, that the finance director is authorized to make payments to Sure Shot Landscaping pursuant to said agreement. Section 3, that this resolution and final agreement shall take effect and be in full force from and after the date of its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move the adoption of resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments or discussion?
Is this a new firm?
No, it is not. They're our existing company.
We've had them before.
They're the ones that took care of our stuff last year?
Yes.
Were you concerned at all about quality? Because I know we had some.
I had concerns about some sloppiness.
Yeah, I know they
The
missed a
grass
pocket
and the
park
street,
on multiple
blowing it onto
occasions, and
cars. Yeah, things like that.
And that was discussed at length in the Streets and Services meeting. It seemed as if once the corrective action was brought to their attention, that those issues were corrected, and our maintenance people were satisfied with the outcome. So,
how close was our second closest bidder?
The low bid was $690 a cut. The next one was $800, and quite frankly, they didn't follow the procedure properly in their bid documents. So the next one was $1,800 and $24 a cut.
Oh my!
Drastic difference.
Well, I am going to vote for this, and I hope that our services people keep a careful eye towards quality and take corrective action if necessary.
I just want to comment on that I did not witness it, but I was told that we'd whacked all the perennials that I had planted on all the signage of the streets, all the way down on the street on Damon. I don't even know if those are going to come back up. I'm going to tell you, since it's this company, I am not going to replant. I just don't want to go through that again.
All right.
Very disappointed on this company.
Clerk call the roll.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
aye.
Walther,
No.
Cavode, oh, I'm sorry, Dries.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2017-05-S&S passes. Okay. And before we do a motion to convene in an executive session, and there'll be no business after that, correct? Let's do the calendar. And our retreat will be on March the 18th. And what are we going to do, 9 to?
Like 9 to 3?
Sure.
Sound good?
Sure.
9 to 3?
March
Okay.
18th. Okay.
Okay. And we have a safety committee meeting in March
Yes.
on the calendar. And what was the other one?
Recreation Committee
Recreation.
and Commission, April the 6th.
Okay.
One at 6:30 and the other one at 7, following one from the other.
We will have a finance committee meeting. I just want to make sure we have all our numbers final before we have a meeting.
Okay, you let me know on time.
Okay, I need a motion to convene to executive session to discuss employment of certain employees. Mr. Lee.
And Mr. Mayor, I move that we convene into executive session to discuss the employment of certain employees.
Second.
Okay. Clerk call the roll.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
Hi.
Dries.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.